Hi, this is Trepacer. I wanted to make a quick little video basically about Star Wars, the Force Awakens, which I have my ticket. I mentioned it before in my vlog this morning that I have my ticket. I have it here, Star Wars. And like I said, thanks to the Magic of Fandango, I ordered it, and thanks for having an AMC stub card. I was able to save 20 bucks on my ticket, so I was only had to pay I think $1 or something for this anyway. But I got one adult ticket for Saturday at December 19th at 12:30 p.m. IMAX 3D. Okay, confirmation. There it is. Whether you can see that or not. There it is. Sorry about that, but there it is from Fandango. Got my Star Wars ticket right there. 12:30. What I'm going to do is, see this showing, and then go to another theater and see it in regular 2D. But I have my ticket for that, so I'm excited about that, and I have it in my special envelope here. And I will see it there at 12:30 p.m. in IMAX 3D, but I'm going to make sure I get there at like 10 o'clock, so I can get on the line. I'll get there like 2 hours and a half, because I know there'll be a line after, so I'll get there extra early, because I think the first showing is at 9:30, and then the next show is at 12:30, so I'll get there early so that way I can line up if they let us in the theater and wait so I can get in as soon as they start, let the people out and clean up and let us in. So I'll be there for that. But anyway, I want to make a quick video specifically because I've been seeing the TV spots, which have been excellent, and the international trailer, which is great. I like that, with them actually introducing themselves to Finn and Rey, introducing themselves to each other, which I thought was cool, pretty cool. And you have the one TV spot where they cut the same scene a different way, where Finn, she asks, "I don't know your name," and he goes, "Finn, what's yours?" And then she says, "Rey." Okay, so obviously, like people say, they meet in like quick fashion, things happen, and they don't even get a chance to introduce themselves until they're actually on the Millennium Falcon, which is pretty cool. That you see them running, and you see them, holding hands, running, and get blasted, and you see them jump out of the way. Anyway, I have my Entertainment Weekly cover. I know there's 4 different covers, I think, or I think it's 5. Hold on, I think it's 5 different covers for the Entertainment Weekly. I think it's 5 different covers. Hold on. I think it's 5 different covers. But I have no, it's 4 different covers. Excuse me. One with Han Solo, with Rey, one with Finn, and one with R2-D2 and C-3PO. I have my Rey cover, which is pretty cool, like that, because I'm subscribed to Entertainment Weekly, obviously. So, been for years. I love this magazine, and there's my Rey cover. Okay, and you can order the covers. You can order the other 3 covers as well. Anyway, what I mostly wanted to talk about in this video is because of this picture right here. I'll show it to you right here. Okay, you have that shot of Rey crying, which you saw in the last. I think it was in the last trailer. And of course the international trailer. You see her crying, and it looks like she's crying over her body. Okay, and at first I thought maybe it might have been Han Solo. I thought for a minute, and then I thought maybe even Chewie. But now I am leaning towards what a lot of people think, that it's Finn, that she's sitting there crying over it. And the reason I think that is because I think what's going to happen, and I saw this. It was another clip that they showed on the Disney, like Disney, and I think a special when they were talking about Star Wars on the Disney Channel, Disney XD. They were talking about the Star Wars movie coming out. It's like a quick little minute update about the movie, and then you see a clip of Finn and Rey. They kind of jump on the Millennium Falcon when they're fleeing away from the bounty hunters that are after them. And you see Rey in the command chair, and you see Finn down, but in the, I guess on weapons, and you hear her saying, I'm going to do this. I can do this. And you hear him say, I can do this. So what I think is going to happen is that they're going to bond with each other. They're going to bond, from the moment they meet each other, they're going to bond, and they're going to be really close. And of course, so that, and because I was trying to think, why at first when I saw the picture of, when I saw the video of Finn, not Finn, of Rey crying, I said, why would she be crying over Finn if she just met him? But I'm just gonna assume through everything they went through, they're gonna go through in the movie, the two different people who come together and they don't, and they're, basically have a plan, a common purpose together. So of course they bond like that. So of course, by the time they confront Kylo Ren in the wintry forest, they're, they become genuine friends. So of course she would cry if anything happened to him. She would get emotional if she sees her friend get hurt or heaven forbid killed. And hopefully, like I said, that's why I hope, even if that's Finn, that he doesn't get killed. I think that would suck royally if he wound up getting killed, because like I said, I thought him, Rey, and Poe are supposed to be the three heroes going forward. So him getting killed in the first movie, I think would totally suck, and I think would turn off a lot of people. So I don't think he's going to get killed. I think he's going to get hurt, because like I said, because he's fighting Kylo Ren, who's obviously more skilled, with his weapon than Finn would be with his lightsaber. The Luke Skywalker, the Anakin Luke, lightsaber. So, but I'm thinking, because at first, when you saw that quick shot, in that little teaser, that Instagram teaser, where you see him light up, the lightsaber, and you see him getting ready to confront Kylo Ren. I didn't see it until you saw this picture right here. That's in Entertainment Weekly as well. A picture where at first I didn't think she was at the scene with him, and Rey was, but Rey is in the scene with him, which makes me think that maybe they got a plan. This picture right here, you see that right there, with them confronting each other, with them confronting him. At least you see them both together there, which, like I said, makes they come up with a plan. I think they're trying to stop Kylo Ren, and they're there together, which I didn't think they were in the same scene. I didn't think she'd be there, but so I'm thinking obviously that they have to come up with some kind of strategy or something to because they just can't confront Kylo Ren because he was more experienced than them. So I didn't think she would be there, but obviously she's there with him. So maybe, like I said, they come up with a strategy, maybe a hit and run or something, to distract him or something, at least till they can maybe get rescued by Chewie, because I think that's what happens in the scene. Actually, they fight each other, and whatever, either Kylo Ren strikes down Finn, and then of course then Rey gets emotional seeing her friend get struck down, and a lot of people think that Finn's probably going to either lose an arm or a hand like Luke, and which I think is always a possibility. Okay, because if they're saying that Finn is going to have the same kind of journey as Luke, confronting the villain early, of course, without experience, of course, is going to lead to you getting your ass kicked, basically. And I'm thinking that that's probably is going to happen more than likely. Even though you do see Finn use a lightsaber before, but like I said, he's not way more experienced than Kylo Ren. So of course, but I didn't know Rey was going to be there at the same time too. So maybe what I'm hoping happens is that maybe I think two scenarios could happen possibly. Like I said, they basically try to tag team Kylo Ren. Of course, because they don't have experience, but two against one. At least they can distract him and try to at least hold him off that way, which would make sense in a way if they, because I didn't know she was there with him. So obviously, they can distract. Hopefully, they can distract him and fight him off. And then you do see that clip of her firing her weapon at him, but so I could see that happening, and then maybe they're getting rescued because I think they're at the Starkiller base, and then they get in the ground. I think the explosions go off, and the ground's unstable. Then Kylo Ren kind of runs off without getting the lightsaber, because they're distracting him. And this is what I'm thinking, that maybe, I know a lot of people think this too as well. Some people think that it's Han Solo that gets struck down by Kylo Ren, gets killed. Because I know a lot of people are saying that, of course, that Harrison Ford actually wanted Han Solo to get killed off in Return of the Jedi, but of course George Lucas wouldn't do that. He didn't want to do that. Okay, so he had to play the part. And then so the only way he agreed, some people think, this is just a theory, that he agreed to come back to this franchise only if they would kill off his character. And of course, I think they're going to do a Han Solo movie, I guess, in his younger days. They're going to do that movie, a spin-off. But a lot of people think that Han Solo decided, or Harrison Ford said, yeah, I'll come back, JJ, this, as long as you, kill off my character. And maybe, because a lot of people think, again, that Rey and or Kylo Ren are Han Solo's kids. That's one theory, or Rey is Luke Skywalker's kid, and maybe Kylo Ren is just Han Solo and Leia's kid. Or they could be twins and they got separated, just like, Luke and Leia, like that. But I'm thinking, like I said, so a lot of people think maybe, and Han Solo basically tries to talk Kylo Ren down, and Kylo Ren kills him, and maybe that's why you see Leia, because you see them kind of bond, because they're hanging out with Chewbacca and Han through the movie, so, they hang out, in the movie together, and maybe he tells Rey that he's her father, so of course she would be emotional when she sees him get killed, so that could be one possibility either, and it's Han down on the ground and not Finn. But I'm leaning towards it being Finn, but hopefully him not getting killed. That's, again, I think that would suck, and I think that would immediately turn off a lot of people too if he was to get killed, Finn. So I don't think it's Finn. Well, I think it could be Finn, but he's not. He doesn't get killed. Okay, put it that way. Because I know a lot of people were saying he's in Part 8 already, because they were saying, there were reports already that they were auditioning him against these 3 actresses for Part 8. So that's why I'm thinking he doesn't get killed, which I'm hoping he doesn't. I hope, maybe he gets hurt, maybe, but not killed, which I think would suck. So, because I'm dying, and I like that J.J. Abrams, picked a young black actor for Finn. I think that's just a great thing, and having a woman and a young, African American, I think it's just great, great for the franchise to include that. And I think J.J. Abrams was good by, picking, the best person. I don't think he would, start off by killing. Hopefully, that's what I'm thinking. My logical in my head is thinking. So hopefully that's not the case. Because I think that would totally bum me out if he was to get killed. Hurt, I could take that, and she would be emotional over that, because I think, because all the things I've seen so far in the TV spots and the trailers and stuff, that they bond quickly, on the run, and they bond. So of course, and the fact that she's with him at the end there when they confront, which I think happens towards the end of the movie, the fact that they bond, and of course she would get emotional if he got hurt, because they became friends and they're fighting for a common cause. So of course she would get emotional if he got hurt. That would make sense. Or like I said, if Han Solo reveals he's her father, or Han Solo, even if like I said, they get close in this movie and he gets killed by Kylo Ren, of course she's going to be emotional when she sees him. And I think the shot of her looking up with the tears in her eyes is when the Millennium Falcon comes to probably save her, Finn, and Han Solo, if he's still alive or just wounded. So that's my theory. I'm thinking that is Finn. Okay, if I had to guess, either. I'm trying to think the percentage of it. Well, I think it's Finn, but I don't think he's killed. If it's him, I think he's not killed. I don't think JJ would kill him off. Okay, again, I think that would piss off a lot of people, and it could kind of negate the fact that they've been telling you it's supposed to be the start of the journey for these three people, Poe, Rey, and Finn. And to kill Finn off, I think would just turn off a lot of people, I think. So I don't think story-wise they would do that. Not to say he couldn't die later, but I don't think he would kill him off in the first movie. Okay? Or, like I said, but I do think it is a possibility that Han Solo dies. Although a lot of people saying, oh, he's been confirmed for Part 8 already. So we'll have to see. So, but like I said, I do believe it's a possibility that Han Solo did tell him, George Lucas, JJ, and the producer of this movie, listen, I'll come back, but you got to kill off Han because he doesn't want to play the part anymore. But you never know. Maybe JJ has plans for Han Solo past this movie anyway, too. Exactly. So either way, I'm hoping that it's not Finn dying, because that possibility didn't come into my head until people started reading theories about it, and that's crap. Please don't let it be Finn. Okay. So I would just like to see a story play out in this saga and kill him off after the first movie. I think would just piss off a lot of people and just bum out a lot of people. So hopefully, I don't want Han Solo to get killed either. But if he dies in a heroic way, defending, that people can live with. And I don't know if like I said, Harrison Ford may have said that's the only way he could come back if they, could kill his character off. You never know. So I'm leaning toward it's being Finn, but not her, because, like I said, I think now that they both are in the Force with confronting Kylo Ren, I think what I think personally is gonna happen is they're gonna fight. They're gonna just try to, I guess, hit and run tactics with him to try to fight him off, or at least delay him, of course. And then I think he's probably gonna either knock Rey down and then fight Finn and then either wound him or knock him down, and then I think Luke is gonna come back, because I really don't think they're gonna have Luke come at the last minute in the movie. I mean, come in the last scene. I know a lot of people think that they're gonna keep the lightsaber and then Rey's gonna give it to him at the very end of the movie. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think Luke is gonna come in, I think, during the confrontation and save Finn and Rey, okay, and fight Kylo Ren off. I don't think he's gonna kill him. I think he's just gonna fight him off, and Kylo Ren's gonna escape, and then Luke is gonna take off in the planet. Either if Han's get struck down, they're gonna take off in the Millennium Falcon, and then you'll see in the next movie that he's gonna train them. He's gonna take them on and train them and become Jedis. That's what I think is gonna happen. Okay, so I just wanted to make this video. I thought it would be a quick video, but it's like 17 minutes. Just my various theories, but hopefully Finn doesn't get killed. Okay, that's my main thing. Don't kill Finn. Okay, please, just don't kill Finn. That would just totally bum me out completely. And if they killed Finn, okay. Because I think I like to see, like I said, I like to see them, because I think they are the three heroes of the story, Poe, Finn, and Rey. And like I said, hopefully down the line, in the third movie, like I said, they all come together. I think it's going to happen again. They're going to come together in this movie. Then I think in the second movie, they're going to, go their separate way. Like either Poe's going to go his separate way, then Finn and Rey, you're going to see them train and become Jedis. Okay, and then some great betrayal and some great, just like Empire is going to happen. And then in the last movie, they all got to come together to beat the Empire in the last part of the movie, or the First Order in this case. Okay? Because I think that's just the way it's going to happen. And the big confrontation, I think, is going to be Rey, because I know a lot of people think Rey is going to confront Kylo Ren. Well, she is in this movie, but I think in an ultimate showdown, either cousins or brother and sister are going to have to fight each other, which I think is going to be the ultimate showdown. Anyway, let me know what you think of my wacky theories. Feel free to leave comments down below. Let me know if you think Finn's going to get killed. I don't think he will. I think Han Solo has a better chance of getting killed. That's what I just think. I think that's a very real possibility. I do think Finn's going to get hurt, and I think that's who Rey is getting emotional about. I can see her getting emotional because, like I said, I think they bond during the course of the movie. And I think Han Solo is another person she would cry, especially if she found out that he was her father. Okay, because remember she says in that beginning of that trailer before that one, I think the international trailer, that she knows about waiting for family. She's waiting for her family. So if Han is her father, he gets struck down. Of course, she's gonna be emotional about that. Okay. Anyway, feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.